Athletes spinning through the void, twisting and turning in ways that defy everything we know about movement and competition. What if the Olympics weren't bound by the rules of gravity? What if the most celebrated athletic event in the world took place in an environment where the sky, or rather the stars, were the only limit? This isn't just a wild idea from a sci-fi movie. It's a vision of what the Olympics could become in zero gravity. Today, we're breaking down how the absence of gravity could completely redefine sports as we know them, turning the familiar into the extraordinary. From gymnastics that defy physics to basketball games played in midair, the zero-gravity Olympics could be the ultimate showcase of human potential and innovation. So, buckle up because we're about to take you on a journey where the laws of physics are rewritten and the future of sports is anything but ordinary. Picture this: for thousands of years, sports have been shaped by the very ground beneath our feet, bound by gravity, limited by the physical constraints of Earth. From the ancient Olympic Games in Greece to the sprawling stadiums of today, athletes have pushed their bodies to the limit, chasing records and redefining what's possible. But what if we could break free from those limits entirely? What if the playing field wasn't a field at all, but a vast expanse of weightlessness? That's exactly what zero-gravity sports could offer, a radical reimagining of athleticism that takes human potential to new heights, literally. In a zero-gravity environment, every movement becomes a challenge and an opportunity. Imagine a gymnast performing a routine without the pull of gravity. Every flip, twist, and turn would require a completely new approach. The same goes for swimmers, who would no longer rely on water resistance, but instead navigate through the air with precision and grace. Even team sports like soccer or basketball would transform, with players soaring through three-dimensional space, passing and scoring in ways that defy our earth-bound expectations. The very definition of athleticism would shift, emphasizing not just strength and speed, but also spatial awareness, adaptability, and creativity. This evolution isn't just about novelty, it's about expanding the human experience. Sports have always been a reflection of our culture and technology, from the invention of the modern bicycle enabling new forms of racing to the use of advanced materials in equipment design. Zero-gravity sports would be the next logical step, born from the marriage of space exploration and human ingenuity. As commercial space travel becomes more accessible, the dream of hosting the Olympics in orbit is no longer science fiction. It's a thrilling possibility on the horizon. And with it comes the chance to inspire a new generation of athletes, engineers, and dreamers who see the stars not as a limit, but as the ultimate arena. What's truly exciting is how zero-gravity could democratize sports in unexpected ways. Without the constraints of gravity, physical differences like weight or height could become less of a factor, leveling the playing field for athletes of all backgrounds. A sport in zero-gravity might prioritize strategy, teamwork, and innovation over raw power or endurance, opening the door for entirely new forms of competition. And as we push the boundaries of what's possible, we might even discover new ways to train and condition our bodies for life both on Earth and beyond. The idea of zero-gravity sports isn't just about redefining games, it's about redefining humanity's relationship with the universe. It's about taking the spirit of competition and exploration that has driven us for centuries and propelling it into the cosmos. So, as we look to the stars, one question remains: what kind of athletes will we become when the sky is no longer the limit? Imagine a world where the rules of competition are rewritten, not by politics, not by technology, but by the very environment itself. In zero-gravity, the strengths we associate with traditional sports, raw power, explosive speed, or even sheer size, no longer hold the same weight. Instead, the playing field flips entirely. Here, agility reigns supreme, spatial awareness becomes a superpower, and creativity, it becomes the ultimate game changer. This is the promise of zero-gravity sports, a realm where athletes from all walks of life, regardless of their physical build or background, can compete on equal footing. Think about it. On Earth, certain sports favor specific body types or natural abilities. Basketball players thrive with height. Sprinters rely on explosive muscle power. But in zero gravity, a 5-foot-tall gymnast could outmaneuver a 7-foot-tall basketball player. A martial artist's precision could rival a weightlifter's brute strength. Without gravity anchoring us, the focus shifts to how well you can adapt, how quickly you can think, and how creatively you can solve problems in a three-dimensional space. It's not about who's the strongest or fastest, it's about who's the most adaptable. This shift could democratize sports in ways we've never seen before. Athletes from countries with fewer resources or less access to traditional training facilities might find themselves on a level playing field with those from powerhouse nations. A teenager in a small village with a knack for problem solving and spatial reasoning could one day compete against the world's best, not because they've spent years in state-of-the-art gyms, but because they've mastered the art of movement in zero gravity. It's a future where talent and ingenuity trump physical advantages, and then there's the inspiration factor. Picture a young girl watching a zero-gravity gymnastics competition, her eyes lighting up as she realizes that her ability to think three-dimensionally and her love for creative movement could make her a star athlete, not on Earth but in space. This isn't just about sports, it's about redefining what it means to be an athlete. It's about opening doors for a new generation of space pioneers who see the cosmos not as a distant frontier, but as a boundless arena for human potential. The implications are profound. Zero gravity doesn't just change how we move, it changes how we think about competition, fairness, and possibility. It's a reminder that innovation isn't just about building better tools or faster machines. It's about reimagining the very spaces in which we live, work, and play. And in this new environment, the stars of tomorrow might not be the ones who can run the fastest or jump the highest, but the ones who can adapt, create, and thrive in a world without gravity. Imagine the iconic 100-meter sprint, but instead of runners pounding the track, they're gliding effortlessly through the air. In a zero-gravity environment, the sprint becomes a test of control, precision, and strategy. Athletes would use their bodies as propellers, pushing off walls or other surfaces to build momentum. The finish line might not even be on the ground. It could be suspended in mid-air, forcing competitors to navigate a three-dimensional course. The challenge shifts from pure speed to a blend of agility and spatial awareness, making every movement a calculated decision. Now, think about the high jump, an event where athletes defy gravity on Earth by leaping over a bar. In zero gravity, the concept of jumping disappears entirely. Instead, participants might launch themselves from a platform, using carefully timed pushes to navigate through a series of hoops or obstacles floating in space. The goal could be to reach the highest point or to complete the most intricate path without losing control. This version of the high jump transforms into a mesmerizing dance of physics and athleticism, where the rules of up and down no longer apply. What about gymnastics? On Earth, gymnasts perform gravity-defying flips and twists on the floor, beam, or bars. In zero gravity, these routines would expand into all three dimensions. Athletes could spin, twist, and somersault in any direction, creating routines that are as much about artistry as they are about athleticism. Imagine a gymnast spiraling through the air, using their momentum to execute a series of flawless movements before landing, or rather, docking onto a designated platform. The possibilities for creativity and innovation would be endless. These reimagined events wouldn't just be visually stunning, they'd also introduce new layers of strategy and skill. Athletes would need to master the physics of zero-gravity movement, understanding how to conserve momentum, navigate obstacles, and maintain control in a completely foreign environment. Training regimens would shift dramatically, emphasizing spatial awareness, coordination, and adaptability over raw strength or speed. But perhaps the most exciting aspect of these zero-gravity Olympics is the way they could democratize sports. Without gravity to contend with, physical limitations like height or weight might matter less, opening the door for a wider range of athletes to compete on a level playing field. The focus would shift to creativity, precision, and problem-solving, making the Games not just a test of athletic ability, but also a celebration of innovation and ingenuity. As we reimagine these classic events, one thing becomes clear: zero gravity doesn't just change the rules of the game, it reinvents them entirely. The Olympics of the future could be a breathtaking fusion of sport, science, and spectacle, where the boundaries of human potential are redefined in ways we can only begin to imagine. Zero gravity isn't just a challenge, it's a playground for the imagination. Picture this, a game of dodgeball where players aren't confined to the ground. Instead, they're floating, spinning, and ricocheting off walls in every direction. Zero-gravity dodgeball would be a high-speed, three-dimensional spectacle where agility and spatial awareness are just as important as throwing accuracy. Players would need to master the art of propulsion using their arms or small handheld devices to navigate the arena, and the rules, well, forget about staying in bounds. In zero gravity, the entire space becomes the playing field, making every match a thrilling, unpredictable battle. Then there's the concept of three-dimensional swimming. On Earth, swimming is limited to horizontal movement, but in space, you'd have the freedom to glide in any direction. Imagine swimmers launching themselves through water-filled arenas, twisting and turning in mid-air, racing to touch walls or complete intricate patterns. The equipment for this sport would likely include specialized suits with built-in propulsion systems, allowing athletes to maneuver with precision. Training for such a sport would be unlike anything we've seen, requiring not only physical endurance but also a deep understanding of fluid dynamics in microgravity. But the innovation doesn't stop there. Think about zero-gravity gymnastics, where athletes perform flips, spins, and formations in mid-air, creating routines that defy gravity entirely. Or consider space-based relay races, where teams pass batons while navigating through obstacle courses suspended in zero-gravity chambers. These sports aren't just about physical prowess, they're about pushing the boundaries of what humans can achieve when freed from the constraints of gravity. Of course, creating these sports isn't just about fun and games. They'd require cutting-edge technology, from specialized arenas to advanced safety gear. Training would need to take place in simulated zero-gravity environments, like parabolic flights or large-scale space habitats. And let's not forget the mental aspect. Competitors would need to adapt to a completely new way of moving and thinking, mastering skills that have never been tested before. The possibilities are as vast as space itself. These futuristic sports wouldn't just entertain, they'd inspire. They'd show us what humanity is capable of when we step into the unknown and embrace the challenges of a new frontier. And who knows, maybe one day these zero-gravity games will be the highlight of the Intergalactic Olympics, watched by millions across the galaxy. Picture this, athletes soaring through the air, defying gravity, twisting and turning in ways that would be impossible on Earth. But what makes this spectacle possible? The answer lies in the cutting-edge technology that would power zero-gravity sports. Without it, the dream of competitive sports in space would remain just that, a dream. Let's dive into the innovations that could turn this vision into reality. First, propulsion systems would be the backbone of zero-gravity sports. Imagine a basketball game where players can float freely, but still need to move with precision and control. Advanced propulsion units, possibly worn like backpacks, could allow athletes to navigate the three-dimensional playing field with ease. These systems wouldn't just propel them forward, they'd enable quick stops, sharp turns, and even mid-air spins. Think of it as a fusion of jetpacks and smart technology, giving athletes the ability to move as naturally in space as they do on Earth. But propulsion is only part of the equation. Augmented reality, or AR, could revolutionize how we experience and play these sports. Imagine goggles or visors that overlay digital elements onto the real world, creating virtual boundaries, scoreboards, or even interactive obstacles. For athletes, AR could provide real-time feedback on their movements, helping them refine their techniques in ways that traditional training simply can't match. For spectators, it could transform watching a game into an immersive experience where the boundaries between the physical and digital worlds blur. And then there's the role of artificial intelligence. AI could serve as both coach and referee, analyzing an athlete's performance with unparalleled precision. From tracking movements to identifying areas for improvement, AI-driven systems could offer personalized training programs tailored to each competitor. On the officiating side, AI could ensure fairness by instantly detecting rule violations or calculating scores with absolute accuracy. No more debates over whether a goal was legit or a foul was committed. AI would provide instant, unbiased decisions. Robotics might also play a key role, particularly in creating safe training environments. Robotic opponents or teammates could simulate real game scenarios, helping athletes prepare for the unpredictable nature of zero-gravity competition. These robots could adapt to different skill levels, offering a challenge that's just right for each player. And in the event of an emergency, robotic assistants could step in to ensure the safety of everyone involved. Together, these technologies would form the foundation of zero-gravity sports, enabling athletes to push the limits of human performance in ways we've never seen before. But as with any innovation, challenges remain. How do we ensure these systems are reliable in the harsh conditions of space? How do we make them accessible to athletes from all corners of the globe? These are questions that will shape the future of sports, not just in space, but here on Earth as well. Training for zero gravity is unlike anything athletes have ever experienced. On Earth, gravity is a constant force shaping every movement, but in space, the rules of motion change entirely. To prepare for such a unique environment, athletes would need to rethink their entire approach to training. One of the most effective methods, underwater simulations. By practicing in water, athletes can mimic the sensation of weightlessness, learning how to control their bodies without the pull of gravity. It's not just about floating, it's about mastering precise movements in 3 dimensions, something that requires a whole new level of spatial awareness and coordination. But water is just the beginning. Virtual reality is another game-changing tool. Imagine strapping on a VR headset and finding yourself in a zero-gravity arena where you can practice flips, spins, and maneuvers without ever leaving the ground. VR allows athletes to visualize and rehearse their events in a controlled, repeatable environment, fine-tuning their techniques before they ever step foot in space. It's like having a rehearsal studio for zero gravity, where every movement can be analyzed and perfected. Of course, the physical challenges are only part of the equation. Adapting to zero gravity also takes a toll on the mind. Without gravity, the brain has to recalibrate its sense of balance and orientation, which can be disorienting at first. Athletes would need to train not just their bodies, but also their minds, learning to stay focused and composed in an environment where up and down no longer apply. It's a mental workout as much as a physical one, requiring resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. And let's not forget the endurance factor. In zero gravity, muscles and bones don't work as hard as they do on Earth, which can lead to atrophy over time. Athletes would need to incorporate specialized strength training to counteract this, ensuring their bodies stay in peak condition despite the lack of gravitational resistance. It's a delicate balance, training hard enough to stay strong, but not so hard that it interferes with their ability to perform in weightlessness. The combination of underwater drills, VR simulations, and mental conditioning creates a comprehensive training regimen tailored to the demands of zero gravity. It's a bold new frontier for athletic preparation, one that pushes the boundaries of what's possible and challenges athletes to rise to the occasion, literally. As we continue to explore this concept, it's clear that the athletes of tomorrow will need to be as innovative as the technology that takes them to the stars. Picture this, a colossal structure orbiting Earth, its sleek metallic framework glinting in the sunlight as it rotates gracefully against the backdrop of space. This isn't just any space station, it's the ultimate arena for the zero-gravity Olympics. A space stadium designed from the ground up to host athletes and spectators in a world where gravity no longer dictates the rules. But what would it take to build such a venue? Let's break it down. First, think of the stadium as a series of modular arenas, each tailored to specific sports. A zero-gravity track for racing, spherical courts for team sports, and open zones for aerial acrobatics, all housed within a single, sprawling structure. These modules would need to be adaptable, capable of reconfiguring to accommodate different events while maintaining safety and functionality. And since we're talking about space, every inch of this stadium would have to be engineered to withstand the harsh environment of microgravity, radiation, and the vacuum of space. But the real showstopper, the spectator pods. Imagine floating in a transparent, pressurized bubble with a panoramic view of the action unfolding in zero gravity. These pods would be strategically placed around the stadium, offering fans an immersive experience unlike anything on Earth. Of course, keeping spectators safe in such an extreme environment would require cutting-edge technology. Think reinforced materials, advanced life support systems, and fail-safes for every possible scenario. Creating this venue wouldn't just be an engineering challenge, it would be a testament to human ingenuity. From the materials used to the intricate systems that keep the stadium operational, every detail would need to be meticulously planned and executed. And while the idea of a space stadium might sound like science fiction, it's not as far-fetched as it seems. With advancements in space construction and technology, we're closer than ever to turning this vision into reality. So, what would it feel like to step into this space stadium? The absence of gravity would make every movement feel effortless, every action a dance. Athletes would soar through the air with precision, while spectators would float in awe, watching history unfold in a venue that pushes the boundaries of what's possible. It's not just a stadium, it's a symbol of humanity's drive to explore, innovate, and compete, no matter where the journey takes us. Safety is always the top priority in any athletic event, but when you take sports into the void of space, the stakes skyrocket. Imagine an athlete performing a high-speed maneuver in zero gravity, only to collide with a piece of equipment or another competitor. The lack of gravity means there's no natural way to stop or slow down, turning even a minor mishap into a potentially dangerous situation. That's why protecting athletes in this environment requires a whole new level of planning and innovation. First, let's talk about emergency protocols. In zero gravity, traditional first aid techniques don't always apply. If an athlete is injured, medical teams would need to stabilize them quickly while accounting for the absence of gravity. For example, a broken bone might not behave the same way it does on Earth, and even applying a splint could be a challenge without gravity to hold things in place. Advanced medical facilities would need to be equipped with specialized tools and training to handle these unique scenarios. But it's not just about reacting to emergencies, it's also about preventing them. Space agencies and sports organizations would have to work hand in hand to design equipment and arenas that minimize risks. Think of padded surfaces, magnetic restraints, or even AI-driven systems that can predict and prevent collisions before they happen. Every piece of gear, from helmets to footwear, would need to be reimagined for zero gravity. And then there's the human factor. Athletes would need rigorous training to adapt to the challenges of competing in space. This goes beyond physical fitness. They'd need to learn how to move, stop, and even breathe in a completely alien environment. Simulations and virtual reality could play a huge role here, giving athletes the chance to practice in a controlled, risk-free setting before stepping into the real thing. Collaboration would be key. Space agencies like NASA or ESA already have decades of experience keeping astronauts safe in zero gravity, while sports organizations understand the unique demands of athletic competition. By combining their expertise, they could create a framework that ensures safety without compromising the thrill of the games. After all, the goal isn't just to make zero-gravity sports possible, it's to make them exciting, fair, and most importantly, safe for everyone involved. Picture this: you're sitting in your living room, but instead of watching athletes sprint across a track or dive into a pool, you're seeing them gracefully flip and twist through the air, untethered by gravity. The zero-gravity Olympics would redefine what it means to be a spectator. For starters, the broadcast itself would be a spectacle. Cameras floating in zero gravity could capture every angle, giving viewers a front-row seat to the action from perspectives that were once impossible. Imagine watching a gymnast perform a routine while the camera slowly rotates around them, revealing the full scope of their movement in three-dimensional space. It's not just watching a sport, it's experiencing art in motion. But what if you could go beyond watching from your couch? Virtual reality technology could transport you directly into the arena, or rather, the vast expanse of a space station. With a VR headset, you might find yourself floating alongside the athletes, feeling as though you're right there in zero gravity with them. The sense of immersion would be unparalleled, offering a level of engagement that traditional sports simply can't match. And for those who crave the ultimate experience, space tourism could open the door to actually attending the games in person. Imagine boarding a spacecraft, traveling to a specially designed orbital venue, and witnessing history unfold in real time, surrounded by the stars. Of course, bringing spectators into space isn't without its challenges. The cost alone would be astronomical, literally. Space travel is still prohibitively expensive for most people, and even with advancements in technology, it's unlikely to become affordable overnight. Safety is another major concern. Space is an unforgiving environment, and ensuring the well-being of both athletes and spectators would require meticulous planning and cutting-edge engineering. But as space tourism continues to evolve, these barriers may gradually come down, making the dream of attending the zero-gravity Olympics a reality for more people. For now, though, the majority of fans would likely experience the games through broadcasts and VR, and that's not a bad thing. These technologies could bring the excitement of zero-gravity sports to millions, creating a global audience that feels connected to the event in ways we've never seen before. Whether you're watching from Earth or virtually floating alongside the action, the zero-gravity Olympics promise to deliver a spectator experience that's as groundbreaking as the games themselves. Imagine a world where athletes float effortlessly through the air, their movements defying gravity in ways that seem almost poetic. Now, think beyond the competition itself. What if the zero-gravity Olympics didn't just change sports but reshaped entire cultures? This isn't just about athleticism. It's about how zero-gravity sports could ripple through art, music, and storytelling, creating a new kind of global expression. When we look at history, major sporting events have always left their mark on culture. Think of the ancient Olympics, which inspired sculptures, poetry, and even philosophical ideas about the human body and spirit. The zero-gravity Olympics could do the same, but in ways we've never seen before. Artists might capture the surreal beauty of athletes twisting and turning in mid-air, using light, motion, and perspective in entirely new ways. Musicians could compose pieces inspired by the rhythm of floating bodies or the eerie silence of space. Storytellers might weave narratives about the courage and ingenuity it takes to compete in such an extraordinary environment. But this cultural impact goes beyond creativity. The zero-gravity Olympics could also become a symbol of international unity. Space, after all, knows no borders. When athletes from every corner of the globe come together to compete in zero gravity, it's not just about individual nations, it's about humanity as a whole. Picture teams from rival countries working together to solve the unique challenges of space sports. Imagine the shared awe as people everywhere watch these games, realizing that in the vastness of space, our differences feel smaller than ever. The potential for collaboration here is immense. Scientists, engineers, and athletes from diverse backgrounds would need to pool their knowledge and resources to make these games a reality. This spirit of teamwork could extend beyond the games themselves, fostering a culture of innovation and cooperation that benefits everyone. In a way, the zero-gravity Olympics might not just inspire new art forms, they could inspire a new way of thinking about what humanity can achieve when we work together. So, as we dream about the future of sports, let's also dream about the cultural legacy these games could leave behind. What new forms of beauty might emerge from this fusion of art and science? And how might these games remind us of the shared humanity that unites us all, even as we reach for the stars? Hosting the Olympics in space would undoubtedly be one of the most ambitious and expensive endeavors humanity has ever undertaken. The sheer scale of the infrastructure required, think orbital stadiums, zero-gravity training facilities, and interplanetary transportation systems, would demand a level of investment that dwarfs even the most extravagant Earth-based Olympic Games. But while the price tag might seem astronomical, the economic ripple effects could be equally transformative. Take space infrastructure, for example. Building the necessary facilities to host athletes, spectators, and media in orbit would spur advancements in construction technologies, material science, and sustainable energy solutions. Companies specializing in space habitats, life support systems, and orbital logistics would see unprecedented growth, creating thousands of jobs and opening up entirely new markets. And let's not forget the tourism potential. Imagine the boost to space travel companies as fans clamor for tickets to witness history in the making. But it's not just about the immediate economic injection. A zero-gravity Olympics could act as a catalyst for long-term innovation. The challenges of designing equipment, uniforms, and even sports tailored for zero gravity would push engineers and designers to think outside the box, leading to breakthroughs that could have applications far beyond the games themselves. For instance, advancements in lightweight, durable materials for space sports gear might revolutionize industries like healthcare or transportation back on Earth. Of course, the financial hurdles can't be ignored. Funding such a project would likely require unprecedented collaboration between governments, private companies, and international organizations. Public-private partnerships could be key, with space agencies and tech giants pooling resources to share both the risks and rewards. And while critics might argue that the costs outweigh the benefits, the potential for economic growth, technological progress, and global unity could make the investment worth every penny. What's more, the economic impact wouldn't stop when the games end. The infrastructure built for the zero-gravity Olympics could serve as the foundation for a new era of space exploration and commerce. Imagine orbital stadiums repurposed as research labs, training facilities turned into space hotels, or transportation systems used for interplanetary trade. The possibilities are as vast as space itself, and the economic opportunities they present could reshape our world in ways we're only beginning to imagine. Space, as vast and seemingly infinite as it is also an incredibly fragile environment. Hosting a massive event like the Zero-Gravity Olympics wouldn't just be a logistical challenge, it would also raise significant concerns about the ecological impact. Unlike Earth, where ecosystems can often recover over time, space lacks the natural processes to repair itself. Every piece of debris left behind, every emission released, could linger for centuries, disrupting delicate orbits and potentially endangering future missions. So, how could organizers ensure that the Zero-Gravity Olympics leaves as small a footprint as possible? One crucial step would be designing infrastructure with sustainability in mind. Think about modular, reusable habitats and equipment that can be easily disassembled and repurposed after the Games. This wouldn't just reduce waste, it could set a new standard for how we approach construction in space. Another key consideration is energy. Solar power, already a staple of space missions, could play a central role in powering the event, minimizing the need for fuel consumption that could release harmful byproducts into the void. But sustainability doesn't stop at the Games themselves. The Zero-Gravity Olympics could also serve as a catalyst for broader conversations about sustainable space exploration. For instance, what if the event inspired new technologies for cleaning up space debris, or sparked innovations in closed-loop life support systems that recycle air, water, and waste with near-perfect efficiency? These advancements wouldn't just benefit future Olympics, they could transform how humanity interacts with space as a whole. Of course, balancing ambition with responsibility won't be easy. But if we approach the Zero-Gravity Olympics with a commitment to environmental stewardship, it could become more than just a spectacle. It could be a milestone in our journey toward a sustainable future both on Earth and among the stars. As we marvel at the possibilities of a Zero-Gravity Olympics, it's impossible to ignore the ethical questions that come with such a groundbreaking event. Who gets to participate? How do we ensure fairness in an environment where physical advantages might shift dramatically? And what role should commercialization play in shaping the future of sports beyond Earth? These aren't just hypothetical concerns, they're critical discussions that will define the integrity of the competition. Take accessibility, for example. Space travel is still prohibitively expensive for most, which raises the question, could the Zero-Gravity Olympics become an exclusive event for the wealthy? To avoid this, organizers might need to establish programs to fund athletes from diverse backgrounds, ensuring the competition reflects the global nature of the Olympics we know today. After all, the spirit of the Games has always been about unity and inclusivity, principles that shouldn't be lost as we reach for the stars. Fairness is another major consideration. In zero-gravity, traditional athletic advantages like strength or speed might not translate the same way. A gymnast's precision or a swimmer's technique could take on entirely new dimensions, potentially leveling the playing field or creating entirely new disparities. How do we design rules and categories that account for these shifts while maintaining the competitive spirit? It's a challenge that will require input from athletes, scientists, and ethicists alike. And then there's the question of commercialization. As private companies invest heavily in space exploration, their influence on a zero-gravity Olympics could be significant. Will corporate sponsorships dictate the direction of the Games, or can we find a way to balance innovation with the purity of sport? Striking this balance will be key to preserving the Olympics' legacy while embracing the opportunities of a new frontier. These ethical challenges aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities to rethink what sports can be in a rapidly evolving world. By addressing these issues head-on, we can create a zero-gravity Olympics that's not only thrilling to watch but also a shining example of how humanity can come together to push boundaries ethically, inclusively, and boldly. The zero-gravity Olympics wouldn't just be a leap for sports, it would be a giant stride for global unity. Picture this: nations from every corner of the world, each with their own unique strengths, coming together to tackle challenges that no single country could solve alone. From cutting-edge space technology to intricate logistics, the sheer scale of this endeavor would demand a level of international collaboration unlike anything we've seen before. Take, for example, the sharing of advanced propulsion systems or zero-gravity training facilities. Countries like the United States, Russia, China, and Japan, with their robust space programs, could lead the charge, but smaller nations could contribute in equally vital ways. Perhaps one country develops specialized medical equipment for athletes in zero gravity, while another perfects the design of space habitats to host the games. It's a collective effort where every nation has a role to play and every contribution matters. But beyond the technical challenges, the zero-gravity Olympics could also become a platform for diplomacy. History has shown us that sports have the power to bridge divides. Think of the famous ping-pong diplomacy between the United States and China in the 1970s. In a world where tensions often dominate headlines, the games could serve as a reminder of what humanity can achieve when we work together. Imagine astronauts from rival nations floating side by side, not as competitors, but as teammates united by a shared vision of exploration and excellence. Of course, this level of cooperation wouldn't happen overnight. New space treaties would need to be drafted, ensuring fair access to resources and technology. International governing bodies would have to be established to oversee everything from safety protocols to judging standards. And let's not forget the cultural exchange that would naturally occur as athletes and scientists from diverse backgrounds collaborate and learn from one another. The zero-gravity Olympics could redefine what it means to compete on a global stage. It's not just about winning medals, it's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible, both technologically and socially. By bringing nations together in pursuit of a common goal, these games could inspire a new era of peace and innovation, proving once again that when humanity unites, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning. The zero-gravity Olympics wouldn't just be a spectacle for the present, it could become a spark for the future. Picture this: a child watching athletes defy gravity, performing flips and maneuvers in midair, and suddenly their imagination is set ablaze. They start to wonder, how does this work? Could I do that one day? That's the power of the zero-gravity Olympics. It has the potential to inspire a whole new generation of dreamers, thinkers, and doers. For young scientists and engineers, the games could serve as a living laboratory. The challenges of designing equipment, creating sustainable habitats, and ensuring safety in a zero-gravity environment would push the boundaries of innovation. Imagine classrooms buzzing with excitement as students work on projects inspired by the Olympics, building mini zero-gravity simulators, designing spacesuits, or even coding programs to track athlete performance. These aren't just hypotheticals, they're real-world applications that could turn curiosity into careers. And let's not forget the athletes. The zero-gravity Olympics could redefine what it means to be physically fit and mentally sharp. Young athletes watching these games might start training not just for Earth-based sports, but for the possibility of competing in space. Gymnasts, swimmers, and even martial artists could adapt their skills to a whole new arena, pushing the limits of human potential. The idea of sports would expand, encouraging kids to think beyond traditional boundaries. But inspiration alone isn't enough. Education will play a crucial role in preparing this new generation for the challenges ahead. Schools and universities could integrate space science and zero-gravity training into their curricula, creating programs that blend physical education with cutting-edge technology. Imagine a world where students learn not just about gravity and physics in textbooks, but by experimenting with zero-gravity environments in labs or virtual reality simulations. The ripple effect of this inspiration could be global. From rural villages to bustling cities, kids everywhere could see themselves as part of this exciting future. The Zero-Gravity Olympics wouldn't just be a competition, it would be a call to action, a reminder that the next frontier isn't just for astronauts or engineers, but for anyone brave enough to dream big. And who knows, maybe the child watching those first zero-gravity games today will be the one designing the next space station or breaking records in lunar gymnastics tomorrow. The possibilities are endless, and the journey starts with that first spark of inspiration. Hosting the Olympics in space may sound like the ultimate futuristic spectacle, but turning this dream into reality comes with a mountain of challenges. Let's break down the three biggest hurdles: logistics, technology, and funding. First, transportation. Getting athletes, coaches, equipment, and spectators into space is no small task. Even with advancements in space travel, the sheer number of people and materials required for an event of this scale would demand a fleet of spacecraft and a level of coordination never before attempted. Think about it, not only do you need to safely transport thousands of individuals, but you also have to account for the specialized gear required for zero-gravity sports. And let's not forget the spectators. How do you ensure their comfort and safety during the journey? This alone could push the boundaries of what's currently possible with space travel technology. Then there's the challenge of life support systems. Unlike Earth, space doesn't offer breathable air, drinkable water, or edible food. Every single resource would need to be carefully managed and recycled. Imagine the infrastructure required to sustain thousands of people in a zero-gravity environment: oxygen generators, water purification systems, waste management, and even artificial gravity solutions to prevent long-term health issues for athletes and attendees. And what happens if something goes wrong? Emergency protocols would need to be flawless, with backup systems in place to handle any potential crisis, from power failures to medical emergencies. Finally, there's the financial side of things. Hosting the Olympics on Earth is already a monumental expense, with costs often running into the billions. Now, multiply that by the astronomical costs of space infrastructure. Building a space station large enough to host the Games, developing the technology to support it, and ensuring the safety of everyone involved would require unprecedented investment. Who foots the bill? Would it be a collaboration between nations, private space companies, or a combination of both? And how do you justify the cost to taxpayers or investors when the practical benefits of a Space Olympics might not be immediately clear? Despite these challenges, there's hope. Innovations in reusable rockets, modular space habitats, and advanced life support systems are already paving the way for more sustainable space travel. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and international collaborations could help share the financial burden. The dream of a Space Olympics might seem far off, but with the right combination of ingenuity, determination, and global cooperation, it could one day become a reality. So, while the road to zero-gravity games is undoubtedly steep, the potential rewards pushing humanity's boundaries and inspiring generations could make it all worth it. And who knows, the very challenges we face today might just become the breakthroughs that redefine our future. Imagine a world where athletes aren't just bound by the limits of gravity, but instead soar, spin, and glide through the air with unparalleled freedom. While the Olympics might be the starting point for zero-gravity sports, the future could hold something even more extraordinary: a full-fledged zero-gravity sports league. Picture this: a dedicated arena orbiting Earth, where teams from around the globe compete in breathtaking events, pushing the boundaries of human athleticism in ways we can barely comprehend today. This isn't just a far-off dream, it's a possibility that's closer than you might think. Advances in space technology and the growing interest in commercial space travel are laying the groundwork for a new era of sports. A zero-gravity league could feature regular competitions, drawing in millions of fans who tune in to watch athletes perform feats that defy gravity itself. Think of it as the next evolution of entertainment, where the thrill of competition meets the awe of space exploration. But how might these sports evolve over time? Early events might focus on adapting traditional sports like soccer or basketball to a zero-gravity environment, but the real excitement lies in the creation of entirely new games. Imagine a sport where players use magnetic boots to navigate walls and ceilings, or a team-based event where athletes must navigate obstacle courses in 3 dimensions. The possibilities are as vast as space itself, and with each new innovation, the rules and strategies of these sports would continue to evolve, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. What's more, a zero-gravity league could become a global phenomenon, uniting people across cultures and continents. Fans might gather in virtual reality arenas to experience the action as if they were floating alongside the athletes, or watch live broadcasts from space, cheering on their favorite teams as they push the limits of what's possible. Over time, this league could inspire a new generation of athletes, engineers, and dreamers, all eager to be part of this groundbreaking chapter in human history. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: zero-gravity sports have the potential to redefine not just how we play, but how we connect, innovate, and explore. The Olympics might be the spark, but the fire it ignites could blaze a trail into the stars, creating a legacy that transcends gravity itself. When we think about the Olympics, we're reminded of centuries of human achievement, unity, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. But what can Earth's most iconic sporting event teach us about the zero-gravity games? The answer lies in the triumphs, challenges, and even the missteps of the past. From the ancient games in Olympia to the modern global spectacle, the Olympics have always been about more than just competition. They're a celebration of what humanity can achieve when we come together. And as we look to the stars, these lessons become invaluable. Take, for example, the importance of inclusivity. The Olympics have evolved over time to include athletes from all corners of the world, breaking down barriers of race, gender, and nationality. In a zero-gravity environment, this spirit of inclusion will be even more critical. Imagine a future where astronauts from different nations, cultures, and backgrounds compete not just for medals, but for the shared goal of pushing human potential to new heights. The zero-gravity games could become a symbol of global collaboration, much like the Olympics have been on Earth. But it's not just about unity, it's also about preparation. The Olympics have faced their fair share of challenges, from logistical nightmares to controversies over fairness and safety. These experiences offer a roadmap for what to anticipate in space. For instance, how do you ensure fair competition when athletes are adapting to a completely new environment? On Earth, we have standardized rules and equipment, but in zero gravity, every movement, every piece of gear, and even the design of the arena will need to be reimagined. Learning from the Olympics' past struggles could help us avoid similar pitfalls in space. Then there's the question of legacy. The Olympics have always been about more than the games themselves. They're about inspiring future generations. The zero-gravity games have the potential to do the same, but on an even grander scale. Picture a young child watching astronauts perform incredible feats of athleticism in space, dreaming of one day joining them. By preserving the spirit of the Olympics, its emphasis on perseverance, innovation, and the human spirit, we can ensure that the zero-gravity games inspire not just athletes but all of humanity. Of course, adapting these lessons to a zero-gravity environment won't be easy. The Olympics have had centuries to refine their traditions, while space sports are still in their infancy. But if history has taught us anything, it's that humanity thrives on challenges. The zero-gravity games could be the next great chapter in our story, one where the lessons of the past light the way to an extraordinary future. And who knows, maybe one day the zero-gravity games will be as celebrated as the Olympics are today, a testament to what we can achieve when we dare to dream beyond the limits of Earth. Picture a world where the limits of human potential are redefined, not just by training harder or innovating smarter, but by the very environment in which we compete. In zero gravity, the rules of physics as we know them are flipped upside down, and with that, the boundaries of athletic achievement could expand in ways we've never seen before. Imagine a high jumper soaring effortlessly through the air, no longer constrained by the pull of Earth's gravity, or a sprinter propelling themselves forward with minimal resistance. In this weightless arena, records that once seemed unbreakable might fall like dominoes, but how would these new feats be measured? Traditional metrics like time, distance, and height would need to be rethought. For example, in a zero-gravity sprint, speed might not be the only factor athletes could be judged on. Precision, control, and even creativity in navigating their trajectory. Similarly, in events like long jump or pole vault, the lack of gravity would allow for unprecedented heights and distances, but the challenge would shift to maintaining stability and landing with accuracy. And let's not forget the celebration of these achievements. In a zero-gravity Olympics, the podium might look different, perhaps floating platforms where athletes hover above their medals, or ceremonies where confetti drifts gracefully in the air instead of falling to the ground. The way we honor these new records would need to evolve, reflecting the unique nature of the environment in which they were achieved. What makes this concept so thrilling is the sheer unpredictability of it all. Without gravity, every sport would become a test of adaptation, innovation, and mastery of a new kind of physics. It's not just about breaking records, it's about reimagining what's possible, and that's a challenge that could inspire generations of athletes to dream bigger than ever before. Picture a future where the zero-gravity Olympics aren't just a spectacle of athleticism, but a catalyst for something far greater, a legacy that reshapes how humanity sees itself. These games could become more than a competition. They could inspire a new era of innovation, unity, and exploration. Imagine athletes floating effortlessly through space, pushing the boundaries of what's physically possible, and in doing so, inspiring scientists, engineers, and dreamers to think bigger, to reach further. The zero-gravity Olympics could spark a global movement, encouraging us to solve problems we once thought insurmountable, from sustainable energy to advanced propulsion systems. It's not just about medals or records. It's about proving that humanity can thrive beyond the confines of Earth, but the impact could go even deeper. These games have the potential to unite people across borders, cultures, and ideologies in a way that transcends traditional sports. On Earth, we often see competition divide us, but in the vastness of space, the shared challenge of adapting to zero gravity could remind us of our common humanity. Picture astronauts and athletes from rival nations collaborating on space stations, solving technical challenges together and celebrating each other's achievements. The zero-gravity Olympics could become a symbol of what we can accomplish when we work together, not just as nations but as a species. And then there's the bigger picture, the idea that these games could serve as a stepping stone toward our future among the stars. The zero-gravity Olympics might mark the moment when humanity truly embraces its role as a spacefaring civilization. Imagine the opening ceremonies broadcast from a lunar base or a Mars colony, with billions watching from Earth, feeling a collective sense of pride and possibility. These games could become a beacon, reminding us that the stars aren't just for dreaming, they're for reaching. The legacy of the zero-gravity Olympics wouldn't just be about the athletes or the technology. It would be about the spark they ignite in all of us to keep pushing forward, to keep exploring, and to keep believing in what we can achieve together. The zero-gravity Olympics are more than just a futuristic concept. They're a bold vision of what humanity can achieve when ambition meets innovation. Picture a world where athletes defy gravity, where sports are no longer bound by the constraints of Earth's pull, and where every leap, spin, and maneuver unfolds in a breathtaking dance of weightlessness. This isn't just about redefining competition. It's about reimagining the very essence of human potential. Imagine a gymnast performing a routine where every twist and turn is amplified by the freedom of zero gravity, or a swimmer gliding through a liquid sphere, pushing the boundaries of speed and precision. Even team sports could take on entirely new dimensions, with players strategizing in three-dimensional space, creating a spectacle unlike anything we've ever seen. The possibilities are as vast as the cosmos itself, but it's not just the athletes who would experience this transformation. The venues themselves would become marvels of engineering. Floating arenas orbiting Earth, equipped with cutting-edge technology to ensure safety and fairness, could host these interstellar competitions. Spectators, whether watching from space or streaming from home, would witness history in the making as the Olympics evolve into a celebration of humanity's ingenuity and courage. This vision of the zero-gravity Olympics isn't just about entertainment, it's about inspiration. It challenges us to dream bigger, to push the limits of what we believe is possible, and to embrace a future where the sky is no longer the limit. So, what do you think? Could zero gravity redefine the Olympics as we know them? What new sports or challenges would you love to see in this futuristic arena? Share your ideas in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're as excited about the future as we are, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Together, let's explore the incredible possibilities that lie ahead. The future of sports isn't just coming, it's already on the horizon, and it's ready to take us to new heights.